I'm going to be joining into my friend's world as a brand new baby rainbow chimpanzini. Look at me. I'm a Chimpanzini Bananini Brainrot, but I'm a baby and I'm rainbow edition, which makes me even more special. But anyways, my friends are right over here. It looks like they have two ugly looking rainbow bases set up in this world. I'm just going to drop down on the red carpet and I want to see who's going to buy me first. Wait, look at that. There's an actual chimpanzini behind me, but he's an adult and I'm a baby and I'm also rainbow. So that makes me better.
And what do you think of our rainbow bases? I think they turned out, okay.
I think they're awesome. These things look so cool. We had to get so many materials in order to build them.
Yeah, but I feel like it doesn't look like a rainbow. It kind of just looks like a cluttered mess.
Maybe when you say it like that. What in the world is this thing?
Huh? What? Whoa. Is that a baby chimpanzini?
And it's rainbow. This thing's coming at my base.
And yo, hold on. Anne's trying to take me to her base. I'm not going to lie. This base is ugly. I do not want to go in there.
This is coming to my base, and it's a baby. I want to get the baby Brainrot.
No, he's coming at my base. I found him first.
No, and come on. I'm the collector of all the baby Brainrot.
And whoa. I'm not going to lie. I don't want to go in either one of these bases. Both of these bases look super ugly.
Wait, is he walking away on its own?
The Brainrots usually don't do that.
You know what? Here, I'll cut him a deal. Let me go into the chat, and I'm pretty sure whatever I say in the chat is going to come out from baby rainbow chimpanzini. I'm just going to go into the chat, and I'm going to say, I'll go into whoever's base is better in 10 minutes.
Huh? Why is he staring at it? Did he just talk in the chat?
Rainbow lost chimpanzini. He said, I'll go into whoever's base is better in 10 minutes.
Well, and that's totally gonna be my base. You don't even know what a rainbow looks like. You're gonna get destroyed.
That's not happening. This baby rainbow chimpanzini is mine. It's gonna fit my base so good.
And oh wow, interesting. It looks like they're just going off and making their bases look cool. I wonder whose base is gonna win actually. Baby Dash, I mean, he is a baby and I'm also a baby, so that could be a good fit. But and she's a robot, and you know, robots are pretty good at doing things.
Baby Dash, I hope you know that you are not getting this thing. Normally I like to be nice to babies, but I'm just warning you ahead of time.
Well, you don't have to be nice to me, because Anne, you're not gonna win this thingy. Right now, both of our bases look like poop, and I'm gonna make my base look really cool.
And whoa, okay, it looks like Baby Dash is starting off over here with some rainbow walls around his base. At least I think that's what this is. Yep, it looks like he's got the rainbow colors: red, orange, yellow, green, and blue, and purple. Anyways, I think both of my friends are trying to upgrade their bases right now. I'm not gonna lie, I have a bit of a feeling that both of their bases are gonna come out like poop. So I want to go make my own base while they do this, and then once the 10 minutes is up, I want to drop my base down from the middle of the sky and see what they think. The baby chimpanzini is not gonna like any other bases. I'm gonna move into my own. Anyways, in order to build a base in the sky and make it drop down, the first thing that I'm gonna need to do is get out of here. I gotta disappear, and then let me go ahead and do /effect give dash invisibility. There we go. And now that I'm invisible, let's go up over here, and we gotta go up in the middle of the sky. I'm thinking what I could do is build my base right here in the front of the red carpet. And then as soon as I'm ready, if both of my friends' bases do indeed turn out to be complete trash, then I'll just drop it from the sky and it'll land right in front of them. And then they'll see that the baby chimpanzee wanted to move into its own base. Anyways, I think this should be about high enough. Actually, who am I kidding? I gotta go above the clouds. Yep. This should be good. All right, let's go all the way up here. Now that I'm above the clouds. Oh, wait, no, we can go even higher. Oh, yeah, up here. Now they can't even see me. Now let's do /up1 in order to get a glass block over here. And since we're in creative mode, let's just grab a magic wand. Now, what I'm thinking we can do in order to make this entire base drop down at the flick of a button is we can build the entire base out of concrete powder. And then when we want to solidify everything, we can just pour some water on it and it's going to turn all the concrete powder into solid concrete. First thing that we need to do though is we got to set up the ground for our base. So let's do /set glass. We're just going to set the ground to glass for now, because when we're ready to drop the base, we're just going to delete all the glass and then all the concrete powder will fall. Let's do /stack 15 that way, /stack 15 that way, and maybe one more time that way over there. And all right, I think this is a big enough platform to build our epic base on. Now, for the floor of the base, the first thing that we need to do, of course, is put down a little bit of grass. And for that, we can just use some of this lime concrete powder. Let's just do /set hand, and boom, there we go. Lime concrete powder. This will be the floor of the base. Well, on the outside at least. Next, let's go ahead and grab some, I think the walls of the bases are made out of gray stuff. So we can use some gray concrete powder and some dark gray concrete powder. And we got to make this whole thing look kind of even. So let's go in from 1, 2, 3 blocks from the side. Or wait, no, 4. Yeah, we want from 4 blocks from the side. Or actually 5. I changed my mind. And then let's start building up our first pillar. This will be one of the corners of the base. There we go. All right, now let's do the same thing over here on this side. We got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks in. and then start building up a pillar. This is actually going to be so sick once I drop it down. I wonder how my friends are going to react to a rainbow chimpanzini nubini. Wait, no, not nubini, just regular chimpanzini. I'm a chimpanzini bananini, not a chimpanzini nubini. Chimpanzini nubini just like felt like the right thing. It just sounded like good. But I wonder how they're going to react once the chimpanzini drops down with its giant rainbow base from the sky. And wait, I just realized this is supposed to be a rainbow base. Well, that's fine. We can build the base of the base out of concrete powder. And then once we're ready to rainbow-fy everything, then we can make it all rainbow-fied. I think we need to make this platform a little bit wider though. So let's go ahead and do / move 10. And then let's select this position and this other position over here. And let's do / stack 10. There we go. And all right, now we've got a lot more room to play with. All right, now the next thing that we need inside of a steel or Brainrot base, obviously, is some walls. And for the walls, I'm pretty sure we can use this block over here. Some light gray concrete powder. Yeah, that looks juicy. Wait, this is actually coming out so good. I think the base is looking a little bit small though, I'm not gonna lie. So we gotta make it a little bit bigger. Let me select this position over here and then this other position all the way up in the opposite corner. And then let's just / move this entire thing about 5 blocks. Yeah, I think this looks a lot better. And then we can go up in each corner again, select these positions, and then do / stack 5. Okay, there we go. Now this base is looking a lot more proportional. The next thing that we need to do is make an entrance for the base. And wow, hold on. Since I'm a little baby, this base feels really, really big to me. I think we should make the entrance right over here. And uh-oh. Slight problem with building with concrete powder. How are we supposed to make an entrance? Or a ceiling for that matter? Well, I guess our base isn't gonna have an entrance or a ceiling. I gotta think. What could we do? There's gotta be some clever way to add like a ceiling that we can make that will fall down. I got an idea. Wait, never mind. I don't think this idea is gonna work. I was thinking I could put oak signs down over here and then put down some concrete powder like this. But the problem with this is that once we actually drop everything, once the floor falls, these signs are gonna break and we are no longer gonna have an entrance. What could we do? Hold on a second. I think I have a really, really smart idea. All right, now this might be a little bit messy, but I think this will work. Let me / give myself a command block, and using a command block, we might be able to make a cool entrance. Yeah, I think this could work. Wait, actually, hold on. Change of plan. I just got an even better idea. It's still involves a command block, but this is kind of a 10,000 IQ moments. This method of building a door is gonna survive even when we drop the entire base onto the ground. Okay, so what we need to do for this method is we gotta summon in an armor stand right over here. We're just gonna use commands. We gotta do / summon armor stand. And since we're using an armor stand is affected by gravity. It's gonna fall with the base as soon as, we drop it down. So we gotta do / summon armor stand, and then we gotta do NBT data, and then we need to set it to invisible 1B. All right, now we've got an invisible armor stand here. Might not look like it, but if we go into spectator mode, it is there. Let's add another armor stand right over here. There we go. And okay, this should be the basis of our plan. Now we need to put a command block over here, and this command block is just gonna make everything work. Inside of this command block, we're gonna do execute at E type equal armor stand, and then run set block, and then set the block above their head into, what block should we use? I guess gray concrete powder. But we need to make it so that the concrete powder doesn't fall. So how do we make it so that it's not affected by gravity? I just got one idea that could work. Maybe we could, instead of putting gray concrete powder, we can summon in a falling block, but we can make it look like gray concrete powder and set the fall time to 9,999 or whatever. And then let's set this to always active and repeat. And that didn't work. All right, delete that. Hopefully nobody noticed the raining concrete powder blocks. Okay, you know what? I think we should just try our other command over here. And this should, yeah, it looks like this command is just going to summon concrete powder on these armor stands wherever they are, which is kind of problematic. Look at all that concrete powder over there. Maybe instead of summoning in concrete powder, we can just do solid concrete for now. And then let's make it summon it 2 blocks above the head so it spawns it in over there. And okay, I think this should work for now. This is going to be kind of a messy solution. When we drop the base, we're going to need to turn off the command blocks for a moment and then turn it back on once it touches the ground, if you know what I mean. But this should work for now. Let's also add some other command blocks over here. We're gonna add another one that does the same thing, except it sets 3 blocks above the armor stand's heads into light gray concrete powder. Aha, look at that. Now we're starting to kind of put together the walls. Now, if we copy this command block again, put another one down, and then make it place the blocks 4 blocks above the armor stand's heads, look at that. We're starting to just kind of like build a little base over here. Yes, this is perfect. We gotta add 5 over there, and then 6 over here, and boom, look at this. Now we've got like an infinite thingy that will not break. But we should change the first command block to summon in light gray concrete powder, not regular concrete powder. All right, that looks pretty great. Now, we spent enough time on the door. The next thing we need to do is the walls. Wait, how are we going to do the walls? That's going to be kind of challenging. We can't just quite do that with armor stands, because what are we going to do? Put an armor stand down on every single one of these blocks over here? That is going to be a pain in the butt. I do have one idea on what we could do, though. It involves another armor stand, and this is going to get a little bit messy again, but I think this will be really cool. So what we need to do is summon in another armor stand over here, except we're only going to summon in one. There we go, and pretty much with this armor stand, I summoned it in with the tag roof. Now, what this is going to do is let us select this armor stand individually, and oh no, we've got a bit of a problem. As you can see, anytime we spawn an armor stand, these command blocks over here are going to put blocks above the armor stand. All right, I think I know an easy solution for this though. Let's just go ahead and kill at E type equal armor stand. There we go. Now there is no more armor stands around. What we need to do is summon in the door armor stands separately from the roof armor stand. For the door armor stand, we should summon in an armor stand that has the tag door. There we go. We got both of these door armor stands. And then inside of our command block, instead of executing the command at anything type equal armor stand, we should add tag equal door. And now, look at that. It should work perfectly. Excellent. Let's go ahead and update this on all of the command blocks. There we go. And okay, now the blocks should only be summoning on the door armor stand, so they shouldn't summon on here anymore. Yes, it worked. Okay, this is perfect. I'm actually a command block genius. Oh wait, hold on. We didn't even have an armor stand here. We need to summon in our armor stand again, except this time with the tag roof. And all right, now that we've got two separate sets of armor stands, we got a lot of playing around with that we can do. So what we got to do, I'm thinking, is let's put down another command block. And uh-oh, I think that command block had a command in there. Oops. Let me go grab myself a fresh command block. All right, so this is going to get a little bit messy, I'm thinking, but I think this will be a good way to add the roof. Let's put down a command block here, and we need to do execute at E tag equal roof. And then we need to do run/fill and the block above the armor stand's head and 5 blocks to the right with, let's just do dirt for now. Yeah, we'll just do like a test block. All right, let's see if this will work. I don't really know if this will work, I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna find out. And all right, so we've got one dirt. Oh, and we've got more dirt over here too. Okay, this pretty much works. This is, I've tested the command block out. It'll work. So we just got to change a couple of numbers here now. This should work perfectly. Let's change these numbers to, I don't know, 5, 5. So it summons the dirt 5 blocks above the armor stand's head. And then instead of putting a 5 over here, let's put a 5. Oh, no. We got to put like a -5 over here. -5. And then on this side, we got to put, +5. Oh, look at that. We're starting to get a little bit of a roof, except, yeah, it's kind of in the wrong way. We got to change this number here to -5 as well. And yes, look at this. We're starting to get a bit of a roof. And the beautiful thing about this is that this roof, it's not just hard coded to be summoning in here. This roof is going to summon in wherever that armor stand is, which is perfect for our needs right now. Let's go ahead and break all of these other blocks here. Uh-oh, hold on. That's what happens when you break concrete powder. Let's get rid of all this excess dirt from our little testing procedure. And let's summon in more concrete powder. And all right, now we should be good to go. All we got to do is just change some numbers here. So let's change the 5 blocks above the armor stand's head to 6 blocks above the armor stand's head. So it summons them in over here. Oh, wait, actually, no. Hold on. Actually, wait, no. Yeah, 6 blocks works. I was going to say maybe we could have this layer be like solid concrete and then the layer above it can be concrete powder. But no, this works pretty good. We should probably change the dirt block to be something a little bit nicer for the roof, though. What about just some light gray concrete? Yeah, I think this should be pretty good. There we go. Look at that. We got light gray concrete on the roof now. All we got to do is just tune some parameters. So you know how we put 5 in there earlier? That means we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 because Minecraft is magic. So let's count how many more blocks we need to put. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, let's just do 5 plus 8. That's 13. Let's put that inside of this parameter. 13 and then 13 over here too. I don't think this will work because I don't think this base is like a solid square, but it looks like we got this side done. We just got to add 1, 2 more blocks over here on this side. Now, I don't know if that side is controlled by this number here or the other number, but let's try it. I put the wrong number. Wow. All right. Should be this number. And all right, look at that. Now we've got a fully modular roof base system. This is so sick. This is actually so sick. Now that we've got the roof over here, I think we're pretty much good to drop the base, except we're going to need to set up a little bit more stuff. First things first, we got to set up some gray concrete powder here. And this base was supposed to be a rainbow base, wasn't it? I don't really think that's going to happen. Actually, No, I changed my mind. We're gonna make this thing a rainbow base. All we gotta do is just change a couple of commands, and then we can make this whole thing look sick. We can even add rainbow particles around it. Oh my goodness. Wait, no, this is actually going to be the craziest base ever. All right, first things first. Let's just do / replace near 10. And then, we can do... Oh, actually, I got an idea. Since these blocks in the middle here, these have to be like hard coded in. We can't just change that. We can have these blocks here be red. And then we can have the outside be like yellow. And then it comes in to turn red. Yeah. This should be pretty sick. All right. Let me show you what I mean. So first, let's get rid of this wall. And then let me grab my concrete powder. I'm gonna grab red on the back. I'm gonna grab... Oh, actually, we gotta do like a reverse rainbow. Let's grab purple, blue, more blue, green, yellow, orange, and red. And what we gotta do is start off in the corner with purple. This is gonna be the coolest rainbow base ever. And then we gotta put blue down over there, and then green over here, and then yellow over here, and then orange over here. And okay, wait, I think this is actually like perfect. Now the middle area is gonna be red. But wait, orange, we're kind of out of colors. Maybe we can include some magenta concrete in there. Yeah. Hold on. We can replace the blue with magenta. All right, so we're gonna have to reset this whole thing pretty much. Luckily, that was pretty easy to build. So we can put down that over there, put down the magenta on top of that, the blue concrete powder up over here. My friends are actually gonna be blown away when they see this. This is gonna be insane. Lime concrete powder up over here, and then the yellow concrete powder up here, and then finally the row of orange concrete powder. And all right, now we can just hard code into the command blocks to make the middle red, and that should work perfectly. Let's go. All right, let's do that right now. Let's just set all of these command blocks. Instead of light gray concrete, we gotta do red concrete. And then let's copy that and paste it into all of the other command blocks. Oh wait, actually for these ones, it's gotta be concrete powder because we need it to fall. There we go. Let's just change all of these up. And all right, sweet. Now the middle of the base is concrete powder. And for the rest of the blocks around here, we can literally just hard code them in place. We can just put whatever we want. Let's do / copy on this wall over here, and then / flip. And then if we stand here, we should be able to paste it in. Boom, there we go. Yes, this is looking so rainbow, so epic. Now we just got to do the same thing on all these other walls. So let's do / flip. And then, oh wait, actually, I think on this wall, we're going to need to do this a little bit different. You know what? I guess on the side walls, we can just select this and do / stack 10. Yeah, that's looking pretty rainbowy. I mean, it's not like a big swirly rainbow like I initially envisioned, but I think it looks pretty cool. It's got its own little style to it. Now that we got all of that down, let's select the front over here too, copy that, and then paste it in over here. I'm kind of curious what my friends' bases are looking like right now, actually. I'm sure this one's going to be way cooler though. And there we go. This all looks pretty cool. Now we just got to fix the pillars on the side and the roof, and then the base is pretty much going to be complete. All we got to do is just figure out a way to drop it perfectly and make that cool. I'm thinking for the walls, the corners where we have these dark gray concretes, we can just, what if we just use red concrete? / replace dark gray concrete powder. There we go. And yeah, this is looking sick. This is looking so rainbow and so Steeler Brainrotty. I think we should make the pillars up here a little bit taller though. I think this would look cooler. And wow, this is actually insane. I can't believe we figured out how to put dynamically suspending blocks inside of a concrete build. But anyways, now we just got to figure out a way to drop this thing. And for that, I'm thinking I have a bit of an idea, but it's just an idea. I don't know if it'll work. But hey, I said that for all the other command blocks today, and they all kind of worked. Let's grab the command block for the roof, and let's move it down over here onto this little command block area that we've got. And let's just put it down right here. Now, right now, all of the command blocks are set to always active. Let's change them to needs redstone. This is going to make it so that they need redstone in order to activate. And then let's grab some redstone, hook everything up together. And I'm thinking what we could do is once we drop the floor and drop the entire base, then we could just turn on all the command blocks and then everything should work, I think. Let's grab ourselves one more command, and this is going to be for dropping the base itself. We got to do / fill this area all the way over to this area with air. And this command should drop the entire base. It's going to remove all of the grass on the ground. And oh, also we should make the ceiling a little bit brighter too. Yeah, let's do that. Let's set the ceiling, instead of light gray concrete, we can do red concrete. Let's turn on the command block. Let's see if it changes it. Let's see. Oh, that looks so sick. Anyways, now let's put down our one / fill command. This is going to be to drop the entire base. Let's make sure to set it to needs redstone and impulse so that it's not always going off. And let's set a lever right on top of it. I got to be careful not to flick that until we're ready. But anyways, I think we're pretty much good to go now. I kind of want to do a test run of all of this, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I think it would be a good idea to do a test run. Let me go down underneath all of our stuff, and I'm just gonna build a little platform out of some glass, and we gotta test this out. / set glass, there we go. And okay, let's do this. This is gonna be a quick test run of the base. Hopefully this will work. One thing to note before we, or actually wait, no. This should all work. I think this should all work perfectly. All we gotta do is, wait, what happened to the ceiling here? Oh, wait, I see what happened. Let me flick this again. But I think this should work. All we gotta do is flick this lever, and then once the base drops, we just gotta turn on this lever, and I think we should be good to go. All right, I'm actually so nervous for this. This better work. I'm gonna flick the lever in 3. Trying to think of anything that could go wrong, but I don't think anything can go wrong right now. 2, 1, and okay. Oh my goodness, that lagged a lot. But look. Now the base is down. Ignore this stuff up in the air. Just imagine the base is on the ground. Now if we flick this lever, or this one over here, look at that. The base is good to go again. Okay, slight problem. It looks like the armor stands are 1 block into the ground. Look at this. If I go in spectator mode, yeah. They're 1 block inside of the ground. That's a bit of a problem. But I think we should be able to fix that pretty easily. Inside of these commands, inside of all of our commands here, we just gotta change the number 2 to number 3. So instead of placing these blocks 2 blocks above the armor stand's head, it's gonna place it 3 blocks above the armor stand's heads. There we go. All right, I think all of these commands are good to go now. I'm really nervous, but I want to test this again. All right, let's turn off these command blocks. Let's clean everything up. Hopefully this will work, because if not, we are kind of in some trouble. I don't know why the armor stands are falling faster than the concrete. Oh, I guess it makes sense. It's probably because the armor stands and, the concrete powder is probably lagging everything out. I think this should work, though. Let's just clean this up around the edges. This roof is too low. We got to set that to air. And all right, let's do one more big test run. And if all goes well, in theory, then this should work. For this test run, I'm going to go much lower down. We're going to have a bigger drop. I already know when I drop this into my friend's world, it's going to lag them so hard. All right, let's just select both of these corners down here. There we go. / sets glass. And all right, hopefully this will work. I am actually shivering right now. If this fails, then everything we've done up until now is over. All right, should we do it? I I literally have to. All right, I'm going to flick it in 3, 2, 1. I don't want to flick it. It's gonna break. No, it's not. It's not gonna break. You gotta be confident. All right, I'm flicking it in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Are you serious right now? I forgot to change the /fill command in here, so it broke some random blocks. No! It looks like it broke some of our magenta concrete powder, but that's fine. We should be able to fix that pretty easily. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna fix it the lazy way. I'm just putting some magenta concrete up here. I don't really care. Wait, no, it broke the armor stands too, though. Now the armor stands are in the ground. Let me go spectator mode to see where they're at. Yeah, they're over here now. Oh wait, actually no, that's fine. If we flick the command block, it should still work in theory. Yeah, it still works. All right, you know what? That was on me. That was a pretty bad error. Let me just put some magenta concrete all around here. I can't believe I did that. I was hyping that up so hard, and then everything just failed. If this works though, we should be ready to drop all of this onto my friend's world. There we go. Let's put down all of this magenta concrete over here, and then we got to change the /fill command this time. We got to do /fill from this block to this block with air. And okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Pasting it into the command block. Let me unflick the lever. Oh, one thing I also forgot to do. Got to make these pillars a little bit taller so that they look cool. There we go. And all right, now this looks good. All right, I'm gonna do one more test run, and if this works, then I'm dropping it. Let's flick this lever over here. Come on. Oh my goodness, it's lagging. But it looks like the base dropped, and then I gotta flick this lever, and yes, we got the fully functional base. This is actually so sick. All right, well, I think we're ready to drop all of this on my friends now. Let's unflick this lever, and before we do anything, let me go into spectator mode and go see what my friends are up to.
So, you think we lost it?
I don't know, but honestly, our bases are looking way cooler now than they were earlier.
He said he was gonna be back in 10 minutes. I was waiting for that thing. I always wanted to have a baby Brainrot in my base.
Wait, they think they lost me. I guess I did take a little bit longer than 10 minutes up there. But anyways, I think now would be a perfect time to drop in. It looks like there's no more Brainrots coming out of the conveyor belts. Perfect room for me to come down.
Well, do you want to have like a potato cannon war or something?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Maybe we can have a banana war because we just lost a chimpanzini.
You know what? Their bases do look pretty cool, but I think my base is way cooler. Let me go over here, select these positions, and okay, it's about to be time for the chimpanzini's base to drop in. Let's just make sure this lever is flicked off. Yep, it looks good. Now, let's go ahead and do / set 0.
Wait, what the? Everything is lagging.
Wait, I noticed that too. Everything's starting to lag for me.
What in the world is that?
And my base is... What? It broke? Uh-oh.
Huh? What in the world is that thing?
Whoa, it kind of looks like a base.
All right, what happens if I flick this lever? Is this going to fix it all? Chimpanzini incoming!
Huh? It just got a roof.
Chimpanzini Bananini. At least the roof worked. Hey, that's pretty cool.
There's a chimpanzini.
I'm gonna say your base took too long. My base better.
Wait, he just said your base took too long? My base better.
I don't even care. I'm kidnapping this thing. You're coming with me.
Hey, if we're allowed to kidnap Mick, then I want him.
Oh, I think our armor stands are on the conveyor belt. I just noticed a giant line of stuff. Well, I guess I'm being kidnapped by Baby Dash now. That's what happens if you try to make a complicated house.
Yes, and it's my base. Now, stay out.
That was pretty crazy, and if you want to watch the next video, then click on the video on the screen right now.